It's the most magical day of the week. If you guys never want me to sing again, smash that like button. Otherwise, I'll sing my Drone Valley sponsorship video, which is the best part of waking up is a Drone Valley cup. You buy it online. Alrighty. Welcome to Drone Brews. It is my favorite day of the week. I truly mean that. Wednesdays are literally my favorite day of the week because we get to do this, which also means tomorrow is my least favorite day of the week because it's hard to wake up, but that's okay. Tonight we're drinking a Stone IPA. This is a Stone. I don't know if you guys ever heard of these guys, but I'm blocking the logo on the can because maybe it'll offend somebody. It's not a bull. It looks like a devil or something. I don't know. So it means it's going to be a pretty ghastly beer. Is there any bit of a striking resemblance? Let's find out. Maybe. I don't know. It depends on who we're asking. But anyways, this is the iconic West Coast style IPA. That felt really good on my head. It has 6.9% of 12 fluid ounces of alcohol. So we're going to go ahead and pop the top, as they say. Oh, gosh, that sound is glorious. That sound is victory. Alrighty. Sniff test. Now the ASMR test. Oh boy, wow. That is unfiltered goodness. All right. Wow, one more sip just to make sure it's that was wow. You guys can't taste this unless if you're drinking the same thing, but I'm not sure if you're drinking the same thing as me, but if you were, you would know what I'm talking about. Good Lord, that is filthy. It's going to be a good show. I can tell you that right away. Let's go ahead and do like we always do. Jump into the chat. We're going to jump into the chat. We got Fly High Wisconsin, B-Man, Charles Meyer, Sean D, Cigar Nation Warriors. I feel like we should do this like we're announcing a lineup for the race. And in the left lane, we got the Four-Eyed Canine. We got Daniel Porter, Jordan Handworker, who did not bring me any more beer this week. Damn you, Jordan. We got Eddie Nunez, Lauren Donner, Weekend Droners. We got Let's All Go to Philadelphia. That's a good idea. We should all go. 808 State. What's up? Mahalo, my friend. And the Food Travel Planet. Hopefully you're all well. Hopefully you all have your drinks in hand. You're ready for a fantastic show of audio troubleshooting. We're going to do lesson number 2, deep dive in audio. I'm kidding, because tonight, I have the none other than Terry Warfield joining me tonight. I've been friends with Terry for quite a while. He's somebody who I absolutely love to talk to from a creative standpoint. He's somebody that's relatively new to drones, but I think it's really important to talk to everybody who flies because everybody has unique perspectives. And what Terry's really good at is drawing out color out of things and color grading and editing. He's got some of the sickest edits out there. And I think you guys are going to enjoy the conversation. We're going to talk about his channel. We're going to talk about all things tonight. And, Terry already knows what the deal is. He's got to come on with a drink. If he doesn't bring the drink, you can't come on. So he already knows. He already knows what the deal is. Am I drunk already, Alex? Alex, what type of question is that? Of course I'm drunk already, Alex. What type of show would this be? You guys come here to see the debauchery. 97 of you degenerate drone pilots, you degenerates of YouTube, come here tonight to get your fix because maybe you can't drink or you won't drink or you're just like, you know what, we're going to leave it all to you. So let's freaking do this. Let's do this. So we'll give Terry a call. We're going to give Terry a call. Oh, let's give Terry a call. All right. If he doesn't bring, we're fighting. He's going to bring a drink. Haters gonna hate, man. You know what, Eddie? How do we handle haters on this channel, guys? How do we handle the Francises and the Karens of the world? What do? We tell those Francises, we tell those Karens that, there you go. That we're gonna give them that one finger salute. We don't put up with that here. The only thumbs that we like are these thumbs, right? Maybe a little fiddly type of thumbs, but anyways, I digress. Let's bring in my good friend, Terry Warfield. I'm going to give him a call. I'm excited about this one. This is going to be a good one. I'm calling Terry right now as we speak. Oh, God, Lord, I'm already buzzed. Terry Warfield. I can't see you, brother. No, bro. I can hear you. Oh, there you go. I could see you. It's cool. It's cool. I'm pushing you to the stream. You ready for this? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Terry Warfield. Terry, thanks for joining me tonight, man, on such short notice.
Thanks for having me on such short notice, man.
But we did talk about having you on the stream. I was going to have you on the following week. I'm really bad with inviting guests. I really suck at doing that effectively. So I'm glad that you came on. Trying to sort of bring everybody here up to speed. What it is that you do. So for those of you, because there's probably a lot that may not know who you are. So give us a rundown of your channel. What do you do, man?
All right, what's up, y'all? First of all, thanks for having me on, dude. I really appreciate it. But yeah, my name is Terry Warfield. My YouTube channel is kind of based around camera gear, filmmaking. I do gear reviews, some cinematic stuff. I do tutorials. So basically anything creative I like to cover on my channel. And that's basically it. I do, like I said, a lot of camera reviews. Sometimes I do filming tutorials, color grading tutorials. Just anything creative, man. That's what I'm all about.
And I think that's how I stumbled across you. I was looking for some color grading, trying to figure that out, or trying to figure out, some different ways to edit. And somehow your video was recommended. And I'm like, all right.
Nice.
And I started watching it. And then I'm like, man, damn, you look familiar. And once upon a time, before I drank a lot of beer, I used to be heavy into the bodybuilding side of things.
Yeah.
And you're friends with Tank.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
he's actually like my best friend.
Bro,
so.
I followed Tank for a long, long time. So if you don't know who Tank is, he's the biggest bounty hunter alive. He's legit. He's a big dude. And that's how I figured. I was like, wait a second. Oh, shit. I correlated the two together. And, we started following each other, talking with each other on Twitter. But you just recently got the Mavic Air 2 in your hands, right?
I did.
What are you thinking about that, man? How you feeling
man,
about it?
I gotta be honest, right? Because I've been like into drones for a long time. I've always like watched videos and enamored over them, but I've never had one before. And when I saw the Mavic Air 2 come out, I was like, you know what? I got to get this thing. I got to get it. It looked like it checked too many boxes at a good price point. So I pulled the trigger on it, and so far, I have to say, I am very freaking impressed for the money. I think they can change some things, right? But for the money, yo, that drone is nuts.
Because you went round and round on whether or not you needed a drone. You didn't really know what drone. Because we had several conversations. You were toying around with the Evo.
Right.
We were toying around with a couple of different options like that would fit in, what you needed it for. And then I know when the Mavic Air 2 came out, a lot of people's eyes were like, oh my gosh, this is what I've been waiting for. So, where does a drone fit into your workflow? Because your videos are like, you sort of always tell a story with your video.
Yeah.
Where does it fit in?
So, the reason I've always been so freaking enamored over drones is because they just give you a perspective that the average video doesn't show. You know what I'm saying? And for me, that's powerful because being on the ground for everything, you get to see stuff at, human level, but going up in the sky and looking down at things gives you a totally different feel. And I also feel like being up that high, given that vantage point gives you can pull totally different emotions with that type of footage. So for me, it was more so my deciding factor, and my bad if my smoke alarm keeps going off, I need to change the freaking battery.
It's cool, man.
But
I disabled mine, but it's probably not a good idea.
Yeah, I'm about to go snatch the battery out of it is what I'm about to do. But for me, the deciding factor was man, to be honest, I was in a creative rut. You know what I'm saying? I started feeling all of my videos started feeling the same. And I was I need to do something to kind of reinvigorate that spark. And when I saw the Mavic Air 2, I was like, you know what? For the first time, because I've had a rough past. I haven't always had the money to buy the things I wanted to. I was like, you know what? I got the money. So why not shoot for it? So I pulled the trigger as hard as it was because I'm a cheapskate. I don't like spending money like that. And
But that's what I
for me,
admire about you, though. You always try to find like you know what I mean? Like you're not like running out buying the newest of everything. Like you sort of find those like little, I guess I would call them nuggets, like you find those deals. Like you're always like looking for the deal on something, which I could respect.
Man, you should see some of the stuff like, CJ and Devin, I roll with them like on the daily.
Yeah.
Like some of the stuff that I get a hold of, like I've got monitors and all of this stuff for the price. A lot of times you just got to be patient. You know what I'm saying? The deals will come if you look for them and you're patient. But yeah, the Mavic Air 2 was just, I won't say it's, there's not anything special about it that gives it an advantage over other drones from a creative perspective, at least for me.
Okay.
It was just timing for me. So if if the Mavic Air 2 hadn't come out, I probably would have rolled with an Evo or hell, a Paradinafi. Like who knows? I just wanted something to kind of give me that spark to create again.
Yeah, but I think you made the right decision, and I think the biggest thing you said it best is patience. I think a lot of people. What you drinking, man? What you drinking?
Oh, that over there?
Yeah. What is that?
Oh, okay. That's a little cocktail because I'm not really a beer drinker.
That's fine. This is an alcoholic stream, so as long as as long as it's it's something, we're in something. I saw you drinking though.
Y'all want a sip? Here, you can have some. There you go.
There we go.
You can have some. This is a rather weird cocktail, man. I just was over there mixing stuff. This is Fireball and pineapple juice, and it's actually not that bad. It's not that bad.
Fireball cocktail juice?
Fireball and pineapple juice.
Okay. That's a unique combination. Sometimes I just pour all sorts of stuff in the kitchen, and then I wake up the next morning like, I don't know. I can't find half of
usually I don't even mix because I'm not drinking alcohol because it tastes good. I'm trying to get drunk.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
So, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Usually I just take shots straight, but I'm like, I know we're gonna be talking, so I need to, get something a little bit more mellow.
You're gonna notice as the stream goes on, but we've talked on the phone before several times. You're gonna notice tonight the conversation's gonna, unintentionally deteriorate as because we're at one, we have two left here, but the conversation just nevertheless, I think that's why people come here. They're waiting for that curve. We got a very slow curve here. But it's
like the curve of death, man.
It gets anyways. I saw something in the chat. I saw something. Where is it? Somebody only gaming and drone said flying. He said echo. You're a liar. You're a liar. You suck. You're a liar. There is no echo. We vetted this stream 100 times over. Yep. So let me tell you, guys, if this is the first time you've been on my stream with a guest and the audio sounds great right out of the gate, make sure you drop a thumbs up in the comment, here so I can see it. I want to see it go up here. Just say, hey, this is the first time I've been on your stream, Dobo. The audio is good. Thank you. Don't thank me. Thank Terry because we spent some time, really sort of fine tuning things.
Yeah, so, it was really you. Like I just showed up.
That's fine. I'm going to give you the credit though.
I'm going to give you the credit.
So one of the things though I like about your videos in particular is your color. I'm really big on the color of the way of video. I think video is conveyed like when you watch somebody's video and you look at the colors that you see, it can convey the mood, like whether it's a happy scene or if it's a sad scene or if it's a serious scene. So talk to me a little bit about your color process and like what goes into making the colors pop the way they do.
So I've always been a fan of like cinematic looking type stuff, right? Don't get me wrong. There's a place for the bright colors if you want to convey a happy mood and stuff like that. But most of my videos are like, they have messages behind them. And I like to use music as well as color to kind of drive that message. So
gotcha.
For me, like when I go to create a LUT or color grade, a lot of times what I'll do is there's certain colors I kind of pull out. So most of my pictures, most of my videos, I don't like yellows, so I take yellows out of most of my footage. Depending on the type of either picture or video, sometimes I leave oranges in there, but like I use a slight S curve. I'm trying not to get too technical, but a slight S curve, but the shadow end of it, I lift the shadows up.
Okay.
Right. To give it more like that matte.
What about contrast?
Now, I think
You,
it kind of depends on the clip. The S curve usually adds the
okay,
contrast,
so you let that do
so
the heavy
I don't
lifting.
have to add a lot of contrast to it. But to go back to like why I think color is important is just like you said. A lot of times when you watch a video, you don't realize how many different small factors go into making you feel like yo, this is an intense fight scene or this is a more serious, dramatic scene. And a lot of that is color. Even though you don't pay attention to it, it's the color that conveys a certain mood and a certain message. So because most of my videos are more like cinematic and serious, the next time y'all watch movies, pay attention to the colors. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times there's a lot of like greens and oranges, and the blacks are kind of crushed a lot, so to give it
Yeah.
like that movie feel. But that's where my color grade style came from.
Now, another note, do you do any sort of professional work? Have you taken on clients with some of
Yeah,
the?
so please don't get me started on this thing. So
Okay.
I actually used to run a film and photography company. I still do, but I used to do it full time,
Okay.
right? And it was just one time I was not the best businessman, and shit got real, and I kind of crashed and burned. So I still work obviously I take care of my family, so I have to make sure that there's
Food.
enough income
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
in, but I do still take jobs on the side. So I do still do video projects. I do still, photo shoots and stuff like that. Hopefully I'll be able to get it back to a point where I can replace the income I'm making, but I ain't there just yet.
Yeah, it's always tough anytime you're doing freelance work to try to stay ahead. I mean, I know for myself, probably some of my subscribers may know this. I do photography on the side. I do, 107 work, but I still work a full time job. Like both of us work full time jobs, still do the YouTube thing, and we still take stuff on the side creatively. But I think it's sort of hard to just jump into the freelance side 100% because, when you got a family, there's certain things that you need from a stable job, like, medical benefits, things like that, things that, you can't really provide from a freelance perspective. I would love to jump into just doing the photography thing full time. I'm like 70% of the way there to just doing it, but I just can't fully commit because it's that fear of the unknown that just keeps me still doing my 7 to 4 type of job.
See, I'm like 50-50 on it, right? Because part of me is like, you don't know how much money you're capable of making if you can't dedicate 100% of your time to it.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
at the same time, you know, being a lot older from when I crashed and burned now, like your risk have to be calculated, especially when you have to take care of other people. So I think like if I'm when I get to a point where I can replace my main income with side jobs, or I can get close to it, and I can do that for 6 months at a time, and I have a certain threshold of money saved up,
Right.
then I'll feel like, yo, I can take this risk because if shit gets bad, then I still have enough to fall back on, and I'm not crashing and burning again. But hey, I'm absolutely going for it again
I would
because you
encourage it.
don't know,
You never know what's going to happen. The temperature of the market's always changing. Your
right?
clients always want different things, and now there's so many faucets to get into as far as marketing goes, and video production and photography. There's so many different avenues one can pursue. I just happen to luck into like the real estate side of things, but
I'm
I
so
mean,
jealous, by the way.
there's so many different places to go. Like people want that Facebook marketing. I tell people all the time, you don't have to do just this thing with the drone. I mean, you have landscaping companies that want promo videos. You got pressure washing guys. They want promo videos. Companies love to have somebody film them. And I
Right.
usually always approach them from a perspective of like, let me show you what I can do for you. Make them a banger video, do it for free, and say, hey, if this works, if it starts drumming up business, if people start clicking on your links to your business, your website, booking with you, use me again. Let's keep it going. And sometimes that works. Like I got a buddy who's got a landscaping company. I just did him sort of a pro bono video, and it just blew up on Facebook, like blew up overnight. And his business, I mean, is at capacity because he's just, people are converting those appointments through Facebook, which I think is a huge thing.
Yep.
But that's where I think, like, do you think a drone is super important to somebody who's doing freelance work, or you think it's more of a niche? I know there's an argument about this. There's an argument, people are like, I don't need a drone, but I think if you offer it, it's a good thing, to have that offering.
I'm gonna give you a specific example to
Okay.
answer that because listen, I mean, is it a necessity? No, because people been doing shit without drones for who knows how
Right,
long. You know
right.
what I'm saying? But I'm gonna give you a specific example. There is a gym that opened up at the beginning of June,
Okay.
right? And you know, obviously I'm still in the fitness, so I told them I wanted to come check out the gym. And hey, I'm also a filmmaker, so you know we can also discuss filmmaking and promo if you need it. The first question the owner asked me is, "Do you have a drone?" The first question, not let me see a
He
demo
wants to
reel, not
showcase
let
that
me see a
storefront, man.
video.
He wants that storefront.
They want it. So no, is it a necessity? It's not a necessity, but if you want to be competitive in your market, number one, you know, you got to keep up with it. You got to keep up with the times. If you got every other filmmaker out there who does offer drone or aerial photography or filmmaking, you losing. You putting yourself at a disadvantage by not offering it. Number one. Number two, um, my wife just brought me some cake. Thank you very much, because this is what I
Is she
need.
bringing enough for everybody?
No, I don't think she did, because she's
All right.
selfish.
That's
She didn't bring
terrible.
enough for
That's
everybody.
terrible.
Yeah, I think if you want to take it serious in today's times, yes, a drone is a necessity. And
So,
you may only pull it out once every 2 or 3 months,
right.
but you know, would you rather lose that $1,500 job or get the $1,500 job? And that could all be hinged on if you offer aerial or not.
Exactly. So, with your experience with the Mavic Air 2 recently, and you're so what guys don't know here in the stream, or ladies, I should say ladies, it's actually just Jenna. Jenna, if you're out there, we have acknowledged that you are in my.
Hey, Jenna.
She's in the 4% of my female audience here. It's mostly men. But so, you're a bit of a camera snob.
Yeah,
I'm a
bit.
you're a
I
bit
am a
you're a bit of
camera.
a camera snob. You're as bad as I am, but we are both Sony shooters. We both favor the Sony ecosystem. How would you say, because like as a camera snob, I look at drone cameras and I'm like, they're okay, but they're not DSLR. How would you rank the Mavic Air 2's camera versus a DSLR? Would you say it could be passable
Um, mm,
from a professional aspect of what you're doing? If you had to use that for a professional use case, would it be can you make it passable, I should say?
I think it's passable. It's absolutely passable. But I think one important thing is understanding the restrictions of what you got. You know what I'm saying? And I say this to people all the time. Like, people complain about cell phone cameras that, oh, they're terrible in low light. Duh, it's physics. I mean, the tiny sensors we have, I mean, short of the Mavic 2 Pro because it's a 1-inch sensor in there, and the bigger drones, yeah. But considering like the half-inch sensor in the
Yeah.
Mavic Air 2, it's a small sensor, and one thing you cannot do is beat physics. So you have to be mindful of its limitations. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna go sign up for a job and tell said company that, hey, I can get you some night aerial footage with the Mavic Air 2 because I know it's gonna perform like shit because it's a small sensor.
Right.
I think in broad daylight, considering like it's only 8-bit footage, I think like if you mix it in well enough, it can pass.
You shooting decent alike?
Yeah, I shoot in decent light.
Genesee is in the chat. So see, I knew it. I
Hey,
knew Jenna was
hey,
here.
Jenna.
4%. 4%. She's part of the 4%. She makes up actually maybe that whole 4% because she is holding it down for the ladies.
Now, I think, hold on, let me add something else. Now, I also think it depends on what medium like the end product is going to.
Okay.
If it's YouTube,
Fair.
absolutely. Like, it's more than good enough
Compression
for YouTube.
kill.
Ah.
See, one of the things I noticed, like, I read the reviews and I'll read through comments on other videos creating drone related content. And I think sometimes we're ultimately a little bit too critical for exactly what you said. We're butting up against physics, right? Physics,
Right.
it's everything, right? And we can't beat it. But yet here we are, we're trying to anyways. And, we're being too critical over something that it can't help, right? It can't help the fact that it's only got 8-bit. It can't help the fact that it's a half-inch sensor. But I think for what it does and what they did give us, it looks good. What I have found is I don't like shooting HDR often unless I want to take it right off the SD card. But I really do favor decent alike though.
Now, I got to be honest. I love the HDR implementation. It's one So I'm
Really?
part of a Mavic group on Facebook, right? And I put up a post the other day, like just a picture of the Mavic,
Okay.
like and the thread said list the top things you want to be changed in the firmware update. My two things were the ability to lock exposure in HDR mode because it's
Yeah.
useless if it's constantly shifting the exposure while I'm filming. Like that shit makes no sense. Give me the ability to lock exposure. And I forgot what the other thing I listed because I'm buzzed right now.
I'm
But
pretty buzzed too.
um, I'm not against HDR, but you
But is it
can't use
really
it for
HDR
everything.
though? Is it really
I mean, it's
HDR? Because like if
no,
you think
it's
of it,
not.
what's HDR
It's
really
not.
though? It's like
It's not
HLG
true
is it?
HDR.
Yeah, HLG is
It's not true.
technically HDR for me, but I mean, I
But
don't
you got
know.
to think, man. You got to think, man. Like if we were talking about a Mavic 2 Pro at
I
$1,700, I
know.
think this
I know.
conversation is different.
Oh yeah,
Um,
100% different. I mean, I think they sort of over delivered on this Mavic Air 2 for what they got. 4K 60, the 8K time lapses. I mean, they cram so much value into a product that really is sort of exceeding its price bracket. I think, if you ask me, based upon previous versions of drones that DJI has produced.
yeah. And I mean, again, like you got to realize who they marketed this drone at. It's not marketed towards professionals.
Right.
So for people who just want a dope clip to put up on YouTube and maybe don't know how to underexpose a shot to pull the most dynamic range out in post, yeah, HDR is fucking awesome. I just wish they had a way to lock
So
exposure.
here's a question for you. Eddie asks, "What camera do you shoot with when you're not using a drone? What is your go-to camera right now?"
Me is A7 III.
A7 III, same,
Sony
same.
A7 III.
I'm using the A7 or A6600, and I mean, I just like Sony colors.
Yeah, and there's I mean, you got some Canon announcements coming tomorrow with the R5 and
But is it
R6,
really
which
worth it though? Is it really, because who watches the video and says, "Man, that was shot in 10-bit"?
and listen,
Nobody, nobody.
I have this argument with everybody. To the average, listen, man, let me tell y'all something, okay? If you are a content creator, don't get hung up on specs.
Thank
It's the
you,
worst thing to
thank
do
you.
because 99.7% of the people watching your shit don't care about it. They don't care about how good it looks. They don't care that you color graded it well. Think about when you watch a movie. How many times do you watch a movie like, "Oh my God, that was some great color grading"?
I
People
never
don't.
say that. I never say that.
No, people don't care. All they care about is either getting information that they came for or being entertained. And that 0.03% of people like us, the snobs, yeah,
Yeah,
but
we're
we are
snobs.
only 0.03% of people. So use what you have, make some dope shit with what you have, and if you can afford it to get better gear, get better gear. But don't sit there and you know. Uh, sensationalize and make yourself feel like I can't create something because I don't have XYZ gear. Use what the hell you have.
Yeah, I'm all about that, So for me, like, I was sort of hell bent on the fact that for the longest time I felt that I needed a full frame camera, right? I had to have full frame to do what I do. I wasn't I wasn't a professional unless I was shooting full frame.
Yeah.
So I waited till the A7 III went on sale, and I said, all right, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to buy it. And now that I have it, there's sort of like a slight disappointment, after using, my Sony A6600 and the other Alpha series cameras. I'm like, there's really only a marginal improvement at
It
best.
is.
And it's
It is.
so minimal that if I asked one of my clients to tell me, well, which one of these were shot with a full frame and which wasn't, guess what? Full frame going to pay
They
this.
don't know.
They're going to pay the same as APS-C, and I just don't think you have to spend a lot to get more. But with that said, I do want to segue over to the title of this stream, which is the Mavic 2 Pro has to do 3 things to be successful, as it was with the Mavic 2 Pro. Because the Mavic 2 Pro, from my perspective, is probably one of the most successful drones that has been produced to date. It's easy to say that,
Yes.
right? Because it's the newest. The newest is always usually and predictably going to be the most successful, right? Just like the next iPhone, they say it's the greatest iPhone ever, and
Right.
it usually is because it's the newest. But
It's newest.
I've comprised a list of things, 3 things that I think. Wait, hang on a second. 3 things. I'm fucked up.
Yeah, I see.
Hang on a second.
I'll be there soon, right with you, sir.
I don't,
I'm getting
I
there.
don't even know where that beeper button. I had a beeper, but I don't know where the beeper is. fuck, I don't know. Anyways, 3 things. And so I'm going to go through the list of things. Terry, have you had any, you haven't had experience with a Mavic 3 or a Mavic 2. Mavic 3 doesn't exist, but I sort of think this is a fun thing to talk about because as a creative professional like you, sort of gauge your temperature and what you would want to see, what values you want to see in a drone. For me, right out of the gate, Mavic 3 has to fix the effing batteries. DJI, you never watch these streams or care, but if you were here, I would say, listen, if I pick up another one of your batteries and look down at it and it's got a bulge like we just slept together and it's 6 months pregnant, I'm going to be annoyed. I'm tired of looking down at my batteries and they look like they're 6 months pregnant. I mean, I'm tired of paying battery support. I don't want no more battery support. I got to buy a new battery every 4 months with these freaking Mavic 2 batteries. It's unbelievable.
They are expensive as shit.
They are at 140 something bucks a pop. And then sometimes you got to wait a long time. I need my batteries now and they're swelling up. I mean, it's hot. It's hot down here. So batteries got to get better on drones. 100%.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I've been having a lot of concerns about my batteries. Like, I've been obviously obsessed with watching videos on how to avoid battery swelling and shit like that. I honestly just think it's the type of battery technology they're using.
I don't know if you can. I think here's the thing. If you see a battery telling you that, or a battery, fucking God, Ken, you're on 2. We're not even at 3. I'm trying, man. If you see a video telling you how to prevent battery swell, they are full of shit. Nobody knows because there is no science behind these batteries. Ultimately, at the end of the day, you can only do, I think, 1 or 2 things to try to maintain your batteries. And that's where you store them, how you store them, what is the capacity you store at. I try to store my batteries around the 60% mark. To me, that's enough. I don't keep them full. I don't keep them empty. 60% is about where it's at. But to have batteries failing after 4 months, hell, I even have some Mavic Air 2 batteries that are already starting to get that little bulbous feel to them, which is a little bit discerning for something that's relatively
just came out 3 months ago.
And hell, 2
months ago.
Right. And I've even seen situations where people's batteries are catching fire.
I don't know. The only thing I've been doing, I mean, and this is, I guess, I don't know if this shit is working or not, but one thing that I have read is to like pay attention to the battery warnings from the app. Like if it tells you that the battery's dying and it's about to return home, let it return home and change the battery. Don't keep pushing it down to 6%. You know what I'm saying? Because I guess the type of technology the batteries are, they don't like that shit. And also, if I'm not mistaken, the Mavic Air 2, the batteries have a smart feature in them where they'll discharge to 60% after 6 days?
Yeah, they should. I actually set mine to discharge to 60 like faster. You can set when you want your batteries to discharge. And I've actually even gone as far as to discharge them myself by like I'll go outside and hover for a little bit and let the packs drain down. I figure if I got a pack that's full, I'm calling it a pack like it's an FPV drone, but if I have a battery that's full, I'll bring it down to about 60% because no big deal hovering, but some reason when I just saw Eli Nunez, I just thought of Eli Manning. I don't know why. I don't know what the guy in the chat, Eli Nunez. I was like, oh, Eli Manning's here.
No, that was Eddie Nunez.
Oh fuck, man, I don't know. I don't know.
Where did you get that
For some
from?
reason, I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, Eli Manning's here.
Oh no. There's an Eddie and an Eli.
Oh, okay, man. I was like, man, yeah, fuck, I'm fucked up. But I think that's the first thing they do. The second thing they have to do is provide us with 4K 60. There is no reason a drone of the caliber and cost of the Mavic 2 couldn't have had 4K 60. For everything in its right mind, it should have had 4K 60. Now, I know, like, I'm going to get flamed for this because I always talk about how I shoot 24 frames per second, but there's something about taking 60 frames per second footage and dropping it into a 24 frame timeline that just creates absolute butter and flexibility. You have flexibility to slow it down. You have flexibility to ramp it up a little bit, or you can just leave it as it is and enjoy the butter. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't see any reason any modern camera at this point shouldn't have 4K 60. because the silicone, the processing power is there. So I can't think. The Mavic Air 2 Pro came out. I mean, the Mavic 2 Pro came out what, last year?
Yeah.
Wasn't it last year? So you telling
Well,
me?
2 years ago, actually,
Yeah,
essentially.
but we had the technology to do 4K 62
Right.
years
The
ago,
Evo, the Evo
right?
had, the Evo had
The
that
Evo
technology.
had it.
Yeah.
So it's not like the processing power wasn't there. Honestly, I can't stand like companies, even if you crop the sensor, like give it to me in crop mode or give it to me
Right.
at
I take
reduced
a crop
resolution
mode.
or something. Like it's ridiculous. So like the fact that now the Mavic Air 2 has it, yeah, now the Mavic Pro 2, I mean the Mavic Pro 3 absolutely has to have it. And
It's got to have it.
honestly, like it should have more.
I don't care
It should
about
have more.
resolution. Like, what's your thoughts on this? Because I know, like, so here's something that the Evo did that I could really care less about. Is they said, okay, we're going to do something crazy. We're going to give you 6K resolution. We're going to give you 8K resolution. We're going to give it all. We're going to give it all. I don't care about resolution that much. Like 4K is the max. 4K is the max that I need. Like when it first came out and I start, you know, let me fucking start over here again. When I first started flying the 8K, I was like enamored. I'm like, 8K is amazing, but holy crap, was it hard to work with. It crippled my computer, man. It crippled it. It was screaming.
Yeah.
The silicon was screaming. It was like, please stop. It was like somebody was just fucking my processor. I mean, it was terrible. That's that
It
right
has
there
no
is in your head.
practical use in today. Like where we are right now in silicon, um, media delivery, like 8K has no purpose. Well, it does. It has two purposes. Okay, the only two reasons I would use 8K. Number one would be to down res to 4K. Obviously, like if you downsample 4K to 1080, you get a crispier 1080 video feed, right? So downsampling 8K to 4K. But would I really do that because it comes at such a cost to storage and processing power?
Right.
Or for reframing. So if I wanted to take this 8K footage and keyframe around, and it gives you the flexibility to move around in post. But again, is it worth the trade-off having to buy all this damn storage, having to beef up my computer to
Right.
handle it?
Right.
At this point, there's no point of 8K. I don't care.
But
People
but
can
but
hate me all they
it's
want.
funny. Like people will try to argue that point. Okay, I can see there is maybe a little bit of a point where okay, I want to crop in on something without really losing massive amount of resolution. But here's my thought process: nothing beats optical zoom when it comes
Right.
to zooming. Nothing beats
Right.
optical zoom. So here's my final thing that the Mavic 3 has to do. DJI cannot afford to release 2 units this time. They can't afford to do that. They need to put their best foot forward into 1 unit that
Agreed.
I want it to feel like a happy ending at the massage parlor, okay? When I fire up that drone and take my shot, I want to be like that felt good. That felt good.
Yeah.
That's a terrible analogy. I've now officially dropped my female audience retention to 3%. Fuck it. We don't care. Drink on. We
Oh
want a
man.
drone with a happy ending. Okay. We want a drone with a happy ending. And I think that if they can make, even if it's a 1 inch sensor, I don't care about a micro four thirds sensor. I've seen people say, well, it's going to come with a micro four thirds sensor.
Who cares?
I don't care about a micro four thirds. Give me a 1 inch sensor with optical zoom, a fixed aperture, not a variable aperture. I want a fixed aperture of like, we'll say f2.8. That's good for
Wow.
me.
Wow. I
But
wouldn't expected that.
but that is I'm very philosophical tonight. They're saying, well, you got they're saying I'm full of analogies. For some reason, Terry taps my philosophical side.
I do that for a lot of people.
You do. So here we are. So I mean,
I'm different, man. I cannot stand a fixed aperture f2.8.
really?
I hate it.
Well, no, not fixed. I'm sorry. We'll have a variable aperture, but it's got to be a constant aperture. Shit, I'm an idiot.
Yeah, no,
It's
no,
got to be
constant,
constant.
yes.
It's got to be
Yeah.
constant. I'm sorry, I forgot.
They're not about to give me
camera
no
snob.
f3 2.8 to f5.6. No,
Right,
keep
right.
that shit.
Constant aperture. I don't want to change an aperture because when I zoom in on things, I don't want to see that because I always have to keyframe that exposure out. I'm like, I can see it. Somebody else can. But nobody's like, oh, I don't see what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't see there's an exposure difference. Listen, I know that the exposure change values. I can't handle this shit. Like, I have to have a constant aperture, but I don't want to feel nickel and dime because what I hate it when they released the Mavic 2 Pro, I remember sitting in the audience And Billy and I were sitting there. I just mentioned his name for all of those of you. He's not here though. But we were sitting there, and I said to him, I said, "What are you getting?" Because we were already on the website. We were on the website before they even really announced the pricing. They already launched it. They screwed up. So we're like, "Shit, what do we do?" He's like, "Well, I'm going to get the Pro," and I'm like, I'm going back and forth, and I'm like, you know what? I like that optical zoom. And at the time, I thought optical zoom was the shit, and I bought the zoom. I ended up with both of them at some point, but I hated the fact that I had to decide. I don't want to decide.
Yeah, that's stupid.
And the same thing with the Evo. Autel did the same thing. Okay, you have an Evo 2 Pro, and then you have the Evo 2 AK. I'm sorry. I'm going to say it right here. I don't care what sort of whiplash this gets me. But the Evo 2 AK was stupid as fuck. Like, nobody's going to buy that when you think about, we got the Evo 2 6K. It's got a 1-inch sensor. That's a badass drone. Evo 2 AK? What the fuck? Why? Why would I spend $1,400, $300 more?
I think it was just for bragging rights to say that they were the first consumer drone with 8K.
Is bigger? I've never been at a porta potty or a urinal stall, and I've said, "What do you think of this resolution?" Like, my resolution is bigger than yours. What do you think? I've never had somebody say, "Yep, you're right. That resolution is bigger." No, they've never said that. They usually.
I just don't see a point of 8K at all. I'm sorry. Like, everybody's like on the 8K. The reality is the majority of people are still not even viewing content in 4K. Most people are watching shit in 480p.
Right. I mean, for Christ's sakes, Pornhub just now got 4K. I mean,
and don't you got to pay for it too?
Exactly. Yeah, you do. You got to pay.
You got to pay a premium.
You got to pay a premium for that. It's terrible. You can't watch that shit for free. We just dropped another percent. Son of a bitch. No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, 8K, the world isn't ready for 6K or 8K. Even if you upload it 6K footage to YouTube, which I tried, you know what it does? It makes it 5.5K.
Now
it screws up the resolution. Somebody
did mention that upload. I forgot who it was. I think it was Patrick. I'm not sure. And real quick, also, all of y'all commenting about the smoke detector. I know, I'm sorry, like, the shit's dying.
Okay? But here's the thing about the smoke detector.
Relax, man. Give me a break.
If that is the biggest problem, that there is a freaking chirp and we don't have an echo or some computer. I mean, y'all been rocking with me through audio issues after audio issues. I'm listening to the chirp thing and myself, like, I don't give a shit. I've been in restaurants with chirps worse than fuck it. I can't even, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You just deal with it. You know what I mean? You just deal with it.
Hey, the chirp is here to stay for the rest of the
For everybody who says something about the chirp, you make sure you hit that link. You make sure you hit Terry's link. Go check out his channel, because he does have some incredibly creative content. And like I said, I'm a big fan of the color, and you've been working on a lot for the Mavic Air 2. But anybody who said something about the chirp does not get that LUT. Does not get it.
They don't get it, man.
They don't get the LUT. See, Fly High, you fucked yourself. No LUT for you. No LUT for you.
No LUT for you.
Because we could be like Oprah. You get a LUT. You get a LUT. LUT's for everyone.
No LUT for you, man.
No LUT. No nut. No nut. No LUT.
LUT.
Shit, man, I'm telling you, dude. This beer, Terry.
What are those, by the way?
It's a Arrogant Stone IPA. It's 6.9%. Now, I'm gonna full disclosure here. I was at my brother-in-law's house, and I did have a few beforehand. I said I got to get back to the house because I got a test call with Terry, and then I had another stream. I just had to pop in, say take it for hello for everybody. How's everybody doing? And then I jump off. But this beer, I mean, at first taste, it's like that girl in the corner of the room, and she's like, she's dancing by herself, and you don't really know why, but you walk over, and she turns around, and she could have contacts. You don't know. But then you're like, I'm going to dance with her. And then you get fucked up. And it's like, you wake up the next morning. She's still there. She's making your breakfast. She ground coffee. I mean, that's what this beer is like.
Sounds like so many of my nights, man.
I know, man. That's what this coffee is like.
Guys, did you just call that coffee?
I did. Again, welcome to Wednesday night. Terry, welcome to Wednesday night. Wow. You got a lot of people showing you some love in the stream, though. And that's the thing. Like, I want to start bringing more creators that I watch every single day onto the stream, because Terry, you are a Final Cut Pro editor.
I am.
Aren't you? I'm not.
I am.
I'm a Premiere Pro guy.
Oh, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing?
Terry has left the chat, everybody.
What are you doing?
No, dude. No.
Come
I
on,
gotta know
man.
this. I gotta know this. Why? Oh fuck! I just belched. Why? Oh, fuck! I just belched again.
You might as well make it a third.
I'm going for it, bro. I'm going for it.
Go for it.
I did I not say before the stream started it's gonna deteriorate. It's gonna go downhill fast. What's your affinity for? See, I learned a new word this week about like I did this course at work. They made us take this course, but an affinity. What is your bias towards Final Cut? What's your obsession with it? Because you are a Final Cut diehard. I don't care.
Because let me tell you something, man. Final Cut is about 98% as capable as Premiere. I will give Premiere the nod. Premiere is more capable. Jake, what up, man? But yeah, and KB, what up? But yeah, I will give Premiere the nod. It's a tad more capable than Final Cut.
It's better.
No, it's
bro.
No, stop it. Stop it.
So fast right now.
No,
dude.
You cannot, dude. That is okay. No, all right. Listen, why everything I want to do in Final Cut Pro?
Okay.
The same thing in Premiere takes me 5 steps. It takes me 1 step in Final Cut Pro. Let me finish.
I'm gonna let you finish.
Let me finish. Rendering as I edit is huge.
Okay.
Right, because I know people who use Premiere where their export times are 58 minutes, 60 minutes. You know, my export times on 3-4 gigabyte files are 6-7 minutes tops.
What are you editing with? What are you editing with right now? What's your go-to weapon of choice to export?
What do you mean?
Like what's your machine? What's your machine?
Oh, I have a base 2019 15-inch MacBook Pro.
You're sick.
Oh, you just brought up a great point. Optimization. I don't need 1,000 cores to run it efficiently, right? So not only is it optimized, not only is it way smoother, not only does it render as you go and save as you go. I don't have to hit Command S every 10 seconds to make sure that my project is saved. All of this stuff just happens, man, and it's smooth.
Because I know. I don't know if he switched or not, but I know Devin. He was a Premiere Pro guy. He's still on Premiere Pro, or did he switch?
Because he's a grandpa. He's not willing to accept change.
He's smart, though. He knows. He's patient. He is patient. Devin is patient. Let me explain to you that the latest update for Premiere Pro is a beast, dude. I can export a 10-minute long clip, 4K, no problem, 3 minutes with the new export.
I need to see it.
Bro, I swear to you, go check out Armando Ferreira's video. It is like a rocket ship, dude. It's a rocket ship. Here's why I love Premiere Pro. I don't have to choose my hardware. Like, I don't have to get tied into it. I have a MacBook. I can edit with Final Cut Pro. I could, but it's not convenient to have a docking. I guess I could have a docking station. Fuck you, Terry. You're in my head.
Just get a docking station.
But I could get a docking station and dock it so I can have it on this monitor. But I have my project set up to save like every 2 minutes, which it saves. The only thing I wish Premiere Pro did better was it would be background rendering. Background rendering, I think, would be awesome. Huge. If they can give me background rendering, I will rescind my prenup that I have with them. I think background rendering would be the only request. Like, if I can wish for one thing for Christmas, I don't want my mom and dad to get back together. I just want background rendering.
Wow.
I want Premiere Pro background rendering more than my parents to be together. Okay? I mean that. Fuck you, Dad.
I just feel like, listen, to get Premiere running as efficient and smooth as Final Cut, you need a 2x beefier machine.
I have moderate specs. I have a 12-core processor and 64 gigs of RAM.
12 cores and 64 gigs of RAM. Let me tell you something.
Moderate.
I was running Final Cut Pro, running an entire YouTube channel off of a 2011 dual core MacBook Pro with Final Cut Pro. And guess what? I was still editing 4K. You could not do that in Premiere.
I agree. I had the 2019, so I ended up getting the 2019 MacBook, the base MacBook, and it was good. It was good, but I was still using Premiere Pro. I wasn't on the hype train of Final Cut Pro. Like, I didn't want to hype it. I didn't want to.
Have you tried it?
I have.
Like, when's the last time you tried?
I edit. So I'll tell you, the last time I actually edited a video with Final Cut Pro was at CES. I couldn't export the I could not export the 8K footage with Premiere Pro because it was bogging down the machine. So I edited the video in Final Cut.
Thank you for making my point.
And then I exported to 4K, brought it back into Premiere Pro to add my templates that were Premiere Pro ready. And yeah, so I digress. So I mean, it's a two-part process there, but I mean, Premiere has definitely gotten better. Like I said, my MacBook is basically reserved for travel. When I'm traveling, I'm doing it. I do edit with proxies when I'm on the MacBook. I hate using proxies, but sometimes you gotta. Now, like with my main machine, I don't really use proxies because it just works. Now I've tried.
I don't use proxies at all.
I've tried DaVinci. I can't get used to DaVinci. I think one thing that many can agree on is DaVinci is like sort of a foreign language. I mean,
it is. I tried it.
It's hard.
Couldn't do it.
I've seen a couple of people in the comments they mentioned about Luma Fusion. Have you tried?
No.
Have you tried Luma Fusion? That ain't real.
Okay.
I mean,
I have Luma Fusion.
All right. What do you think of that?
It's okay.
What do you think of the people that claim you can make a channel, you can edit professionally with Luma Fusion? I don't think it's
professionally.
There yet.
No, you can't.
No, you cannot. You can come.
I mean,
close.
I guess you gotta define what professionally means, but for me, it can't do the job. So let me say this: the fact that we can do, like, the fact that we can edit 4K and such on an iPad through Luma Fusion is amazing. This is not to take away from what they have done at Luma Fusion.
Okay.
However, if we were to use the drone video I sent you, what was that, like last week, right?
Yep.
There's no way I could have did that project in Luma Fusion because the sound design, the color grade, everything was too complex to do in Luma Fusion's ecosystem. I think with the next software update that they have is going to be killer, but in its current state, it's not enough because it's missing too much. Yes, ma'am.
That chicken chili enough for you?
I don't want to eat that.
I
mean, I'll eat it. I'm sorry.
She got chicken.
I'm getting interrogated by my wife.
What she got?
Yes.
She got more cake.
No, she does not have more cake.
I'm really disappointed she didn't bring more cake. She didn't bring.
They are mad that you did not.
You did not offer cake for everybody.
Sorry.
Come show your face. So why you need to explain to the people why you didn't bring cake. Please hold. Explain, please, why you did not supply cake.
Where's the cake?
Show him the cake. He wants to see the cake.
I got to see the cake.
It's only one slice of cake.
That's what she brought.
Okay.
That's what she brought.
I understand now. I understand why it was not offered for everybody. Thank you. That was an adequate explanation.
That's not homemade.
All right. Well, yeah, that's enough. If not, I'll find something. All right. But anyways, yeah, there's a few things that I'm actually planning on making a video for this. So there's a few things that Luma Fusion just doesn't do. Okay. First of all, there are no, like, you know how there's plugins for Premiere and plugins for Final Cut Pro. The plugins for Luma Fusion are very, very, like,
sparse.
Kind of, yeah, they're sparse. There's one guy making them, and they're Jimmy rigged to make it work. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's not there yet. It has the potential because iPads are ridiculous, but it's not there yet. Now, as an interim editor, like if you just need to do a quick, stitching 2 or 3 clips together, slapping some music on there for like a, discussion on YouTube or something, I've done that before. But for complex edits, no. And it's like just the way the timeline acts is just not.
I don't like that like sort of elastic timeline thing. It just doesn't. I was hoping.
I only like that in one situation.
I was hoping they would make a professional video editor for the iPad. You know what I mean? I love my iPad, but.
Well, you got to think now with Apple switching over to ARM devices, right?
Yeah.
Eventually, Final Cut Pro is coming for iPad because they've already said it is coming. So Final Cut Pro, Final Cut is a professional, NLE. It's coming, but I still don't think like there's just something about having an actual machine that I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just can't make the jump, man. From a creative standpoint, I don't think people really understand how much downtime it takes to try to like switch an editor. Like when you're in a rhythm of making videos every single week, like I do a video about every other day. I stream, this whole shit show here that I have. This is on Wednesdays. This happens every Wednesday. I think like to switch an editor, it would be catastrophic to my workflow. Like, I think you're comfortable with and sometimes change is hard in that aspect when it's from a productivity perspective.
Dude.
From
I downloaded DaVinci Resolve thinking I was going to switch.
Same, man.
And honestly, when you got the pressure of number one, client work, number two, like the pressure of like every YouTuber feels pressure like, oh my God, I got to upload a video.
Right. You feel like you almost got to stay relevant, but I think
you do.
I think,
but
do you feel that way often though?
I do, and honestly, the reality is people don't give a shit if you go 7 days without uploading a video.
Let's ask them, guys. Do you give a shit when I upload? Like, do you give a shit? Paul Feinberg, fuck you, Paul. Do you give a shit? Paul's good. I like Paul. Paul lives close to me. Fly High. If you ever say VCopter Pro again in my stream, I'll unwrench you. I will unwrench you on the spot.
Hey, somebody said this is dry and there's no space for please hold. I will, just give me 2 seconds. I will be right back.
All right, I'm gonna go push over to the host scene. You handle your.
No, there's no reason for that because I'm gonna be going for literally 6 seconds.
Okay, you do your thing. You guys fucked up this man into changing a 9-volt battery. Oh wait, no, he's got a. Never mind. Fuck it. Never mind.
I beat 6 seconds.
Hey, what'd you grab a bottle of, Terry?
This is a
Oh no! Oh no! Is that it? Oh, the ASMR. I gotta listen.
Wait. Let me do this on the mic.
Yeah. Do it on the mic.
I don't know if you heard that.
I heard it, man. I heard every bit of it. It was good. I'm opening another one.
Good for you, man.
Oh,
good for you.
I love Wednesdays, man. You know what, Terry? I mean, here's the deal, man. The week is a weird situation because you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You know how the days go. But Wednesday, to me, is like that tip of that roller coaster. You know what I mean? You're up there. You're sitting there waiting to drop. And you're just having the greatest time. Like, part of the fun is waiting to drop. And then you drop, and you're like, ooh, we're going to do it all over again because you're going to go back up on that. You're going to go back up on that ride, and there's definitely another hill. Oh, life is good.
Why does my stream look so shitty? I'm so confused right now.
It's not, though.
I'm looking at it on my iPad, and
I don't know. I'm looking at it in 1080p, and it's looking pretty stellar, man.
Okay, well, maybe I'm
give
wrong.
it a little bit. Sometimes it'll do that. You're going to see when you watch this video back, you're going to be like, Dobo's right. I'm looking crisp. You're going to look crisp, man. Don't you worry about a thing. Fair enough. You're looking crisp.
Somebody just asked, what do I think about the Osmo Pocket?
Oh, shit. That's something I haven't messed with in a while, dude. That's a forgotten camera, dude. That's a forgotten camera.
It is a forgotten. It's crazy because it, for what it offered,
I
think it was good, amazing. Bro. But they need to follow up on it. They need to bring another one.
Right? Like, give us something with a wider lens. That lens was too close to my face, Yeah.
And my two biggest things about that, first of all, they need a bigger sensor in it, number one, because the quality of it was not much better than the average cell phone. Number two, wider field of view, because it was like a 35, it was like a 30 millimeter focal length, which is, if it's a vlogging camera, why would you put a camera that narrow on there? That makes no sense. But number three, put a freaking mic input on there. What they did is they made us buy a proprietary DJI dongle to use a microphone with it, which is complete bullshit.
Right. Yeah, I don't know why they do that. They did the same thing with the Osmo Pocket. Like, I don't understand. Just give me a mic output. Like, people want a good video feed.
I mean, if it had a good mic on board, it wouldn't be that much of a problem. But the mic on the Osmo Pocket was booty cheeks. Like, it was bad.
It was what?
It was cheeks.
Cheeks.
Butt cheeks. It was bad.
Dude, I love that analogy.
I use that for everything.
I love it. It's
if you
like
need
when
to explain something
cheeks.
That's terrible, call it cheeks.
Cheeks. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. When I say something is good, I call it tits.
Well, now you got something.
I've got an opposing dynamic there. I like this. This is
now,
good.
Femi Palm, somebody just mentioned that in there. Femi Palm came out with basically an Osmo Pocket clone that had a mic jack. However, I never got a chance to test it. So
yeah, I saw the Femi Palm, but they did not. They did not offer to send one out. I'm contemplating picking one up just to give her a go. See what's going on. Paul Feinberg asks, Terry, what's your thoughts of the ZV-1? It seems
I made
like
a whole
nice
video on that camera.
That's right. You got some hands-on time with the ZV-1.
Did.
Was it cheeks or tits?
No, it's not cheeks at all. You got to realize what the camera's made for. As long as you realize what it's made for, yeah, it's freaking amazing. But I think people went into it expecting it to be like some mirrorless camera replacement, such as like a A6400 replacement or something like that. When Sony never marketed it as that, they marketed the camera as a vlogging video content creator's camera, and for that, it does everything amazing. I mean, obviously, it's not perfect,
Right.
but
How's
I really
the
think the
stabilization on that?
ZV-1. It's got 3 modes.
Okay.
Right. And this is where like a lot of people were commenting on that video and pissing me off because
Yeah,
I don't
get
like
fired up in the comments.
yeah, talk intelligently. Like I know what I'm talking about, right? If I reviewed it, I know what I'm talking about.
Right.
So it's got off. When it's off, the stabilization obviously is trash.
Yep.
When there's a on mode where it's optical stabilization, which is not put it in reverse, Terry. It's not terrible, but there are definitely some micro jitters. And then you have active, which is optical stabilization plus digital, but it crops all the way into the tip of my freaking nose.
Yeah, no, that's
so using you either need a super long selfie stick if you want to use active, because active looks like a gimbal. That's how smooth it is, because it's optical plus electronic. But you need to put the camera on like a long selfie stick if you want to vlog. But it's good. And again, people have to understand the limitations. It is a small camera. You cannot expect 10 axis stabilization out of a camera that's the size of a credit card.
Yeah, I mean,
if you really want it that smooth, put it on a freaking gimbal.
Gimbals are where it's at.
But I hate gimbals.
You hate gimbals? Why do you hate gimbals, man?
Because they're just such a hassle. They're just such a hassle. I try to avoid using gimbals unless it's client work, or like I'm working on a cinematic right now where it was the other day when I was filming, doing like this little bike cinematic that y'all see within the next few days.
All right.
But obviously in those situations when I know I wanted some super smooth pans and stuff like that, I use the gimbal. But I hate them.
You've got some of the best B-roll in the game. Like, you put a lot of thought into your B-roll, which is something I envy, because sometimes I'll start shooting the A-roll and I'll be like, fuck it, send it. And
man,
you know what I mean? And I don't put any B-roll in there, and I think back and I'll watch videos and like your B-roll is on point because it's articulated, it chimes with the course. It just makes good sense. You know what I mean?
I just like I like eye candy. You know what I'm saying? So when I make my videos, I make videos that I will want to watch. I put it like that. And a lot of people don't some of my videos. You get people who like, oh man, you didn't cover all of the details. Like I don't give a shit. Like I made the video because
that's good that you don't. I don't think details are important all the time. Not all the details. We don't gotta be super thorough. What is our job as a creator?
My job as a creator is to make content that what we're supposed to do is make content for our viewers, right?
Right.
But for me, YouTube is more of like an outlet, a creative outlet. So when I make my videos, I'm making them for you, but I'm also making them primarily for me because I wanted to make something dope, right?
Right.
So for me, before I even started making YouTube videos, I'm a visual person. I love eye candy, so I try to put that shit in my videos. And some people, they give me backlash because like, oh, you didn't cover enough specs, but if that's what you after, I don't need you to be a part of my squad anyways, because you're never going to be happy.
And your squad is what? Hashtag up in here, right?
Yeah, my squad is, I call it family.
I envy the fact that you have a good hashtag. What the, I was trying to think to myself, I'm like, what the fuck's my hashtag? And then people were like, well, stay original. What the fuck does that even mean? I just started saying that out of nowhere one day.
Let me tell you where my hashtag came from. It actually came from one day I was trying to do a YouTube intro, right? And I messed it up. And I was like, make sure you drop a hat. I mean, I think I said something like, make sure you let me know if you up in here. And after I thought about it, I'm like, that shit made no sense. But I just rolled with it, and
I like
then
it.
people started using
I
it.
gotta
So I was
keep
like,
doing
yo, I'm
it.
just about to roll with
So I
it.
just have to stay original. I can't change that now. It's just got course of entry. I have to keep going.
Hey, man.
Once you
Hey, man.
penetrate, you're in.
Come on, demography now, man. Don't be ignorant, man. Just get out of here.
Yeah, fuck that, dude. I don't play that shit. Goodbye. You know, there's
Yeah,
always
that was
there's
just
always one dumbass. You know what I
always
mean?
one.
You know what I mean? There's always one dumbass that's got to just like be a dumbass. All right, fuck that, dude. I don't. You know,
Yeah.
I don't play that game. I think I'm the type of person that would punch somebody like that in the face. So
I would.
I would. Yes, I would. We would start a fight, you and I, with people like that. Trust me.
You know what's crazy, man? I didn't know the way you found me was from like bodybuilding.
Dude, it was Tank, dude.
That's crazy.
Dude, it's crazy
I
because
could-
he was rocking with Mike shit.
Yeah,
And Casey's rocking out with Mike, which
Yeah, I saw that.
which is nuts because like, you know, he was down in Miami. They had that gym that like had that whole shit show that went down.
Yep.
I like CT Fletcher. That was like my go-to guy.
I used to be around all of them all the time.
Dude, and like good guys, man. Good guys. Good
Yeah.
group of guys.
You know what? For me, it was just like, oh man, there's politics and bullshit and everything, right? For me, like the fitness thing, I still love and enjoy fitness. Like I love the challenge and I love trying to stay in the best shape possible. But the reality is to be in that world, and I'm kind of digressing, like you have to be on stuff. You know what I'm saying? You have to be on
You got to be on the
drugs
juice.
and all of that.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm just not into that. And a lot of people look at me like, "Oh my God, Terry, you're ripped." But when you stand next to guys who are on XYZ, you look like shit.
Bro, let me tell you, bro. I am ripped too, bro. Check this shit out. I'm packing a 3 fucking pack right here, baby. 3.
Yeah.
3, bro.
Are those all empty? Are those empty?
I don't know, bro. I'm not going to try to find out. But you know what I mean? Like, I was good until I got injured. I was good. I was like, oh, like I'm going to the gym. And I was feeling pretty good about life. And then I got injured. And then I found beer.
Yeah, man. And then the rest was history. But yeah, I mean that's a good point, dude. Like the older you get, the more prone you are to injuries unless you want to do XYZ, you know, and I'm just not with that. So I got out of it. But the second reason is because like, you know what's crazy is in my culture, like nerds are kind of frowned upon. And I'm a nerd. I'm just a buff nerd, you know what I'm saying? So like I wanted to explore the other side of what I had to offer, and it's ended up being probably one of the most rewarding things I've ever done. Like being able to rock out and talk about stuff that I love. Like I wouldn't be able to have a drone conversation with Bounty Tank. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because it's just a different
But
world.
I think that's where like the worlds sort of collide and like that creative, passion starts, meshing with things. And for me, that's what I find special about creating content. I really didn't have a good appreciation of that until I switched my gears and started, filming with drones. And then, it became more of a filmmaking process, which, I think some people cross that bridge at certain times.
Yeah. And while I have, that wasn't to like shame anybody else. I don't care what people do. People are free to do whatever they want. And I will never judge another man for how he makes money or how he wants to live his life. I'm just not that kind of
right. If I wanted to walk down Main Street with a G-string, you would support me.
I will support you.
Yeah, G-string and all.
I would call you stupid, but I would still support you.
Dollar bills are dollar bills, y'all.
I'm just, I have nothing against people who choose that lifestyle, but for me, it just wasn't what I wanted anymore. And, when I pivoted, a lot of people unfollow me, obviously, because a lot of people follow me because of fitness. But, a lot of people have now followed me.
Does the pivot make you happier with the content you create?
It does, man. Because, like, there's a part of, like, bodybuilding, like, you have to walk the walk, talk the talk, look the look. You got to be a badass. I don't want to be a badass all the time. Like, there's a time and a place for it. Sometimes I literally just want to rock out with my camera and all this gear on my desk. You know what I'm saying? And not be a tough guy. So,
but let me ask you a question, real question, because I've been thinking about this. Do you ever feel like I don't want to film, like it's too much to set everything up?
Yeah. I actually go through a lot, and this is a transparency moment. I go through a lot of creator blocks. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, I'm on day. Besides the video I just made 3 days ago, which I'm like literally 30 seconds away from deleting the whole shit because I can't stand it.
Okay.
But there are times where I don't want to create. I don't like forcing creativity
Fair
because
enough.
for me it doesn't come off like my finished product is never as good if I force it. So I'll sit around and wait till I get inspiration from something, um, instead of forcing it. But
Ooh.
the like the messed up part about it is you feel like from YouTube like that pressure to create is always there.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like finding the fine
Because
balance between.
what's your average upload day? Was it like twice
I
a
don't
week?
follow one.
Okay.
I
All
don't
right.
follow one.
And so because everybody, because here's the deal. No matter where we're at, sometimes people watch channel and they're trying to maybe try to figure out their own channel, right? And I know I did what everybody did. How do you gain subscribers? How do you build a channel? And I think the first thing you don't do is don't follow the so-called gurus. Don't follow the experts. There ain't nobody that has a blueprint on how to do shit. I think the first thing is you got to always be yourself. That's for one. And two, you got to enjoy what you do because your passion exudes through the content you create. And that's what I see like with your content and just about anybody I watch, like you generally get the feeling that they are enjoying what they're doing. It's not work. They're not like saying, "Hey, I have to do this." I think the minute you say you have to do this, you have to be relevant, you've already lost. I could be wrong. I don't know. I'm wrong often.
Well, I mean, some people say you need to maintain an upload schedule to be successful on YouTube, right? But then you got people like Josh Yo to make an example. Like I
Josh
don't know if
man,
you
dude,
follow.
he's so good, dude.
Yeah, the
Fucking
dude
love that guy.
uploads maybe twice a month, but his shit is so good when he uploads, you don't have a choice but to subscribe to him. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's really about finding the balance that works for you. For me, a schedule doesn't work because then I'm forcing creativity and I just can't work like that. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't. But you got to find what works for you. But I will tell you, like, since I've had this drone, dude, I've wanted to create more. I wanted to create now that I have this drone more than I have in probably the last 3 years.
So and I think that's where I sort of started losing because I was flying these drones and I got into the rhythm of all right, I got to review this, I got to do this, I have to do this, right? And I stopped really feeling passionate about it. And then I discovered FPV, and I'm like,
Yeah,
holy shit, this is
that shit
fun.
is
And
sick. By
I
the
mean,
way,
I'm just getting behind the sticks and I'm like, this is awesome. I'm like losing my mind, like in a parking lot of Best Buy. Nobody's around, like it's quiet everywhere and it's like crickets, but I'm losing my mind to myself, like, this is awesome. Like, it's good, dude. It's good.
I actually, man, I've been watching. Actually your fault. It's your fault that I started getting into
Don't
FPV
put that
because
evil
I
on me,
never
Terry.
was.
Don't you put that evil on
It's
me.
you. It's your problem. It's your fault. Since you started getting into FPV, guess what? If you look through my YouTube history right now, you know what it is? FPV
Bro,
builds,
that thing you tagged
FPV.
me in this morning, the dude pulled a video. I wonder if he got in trouble for that. Terry tags me in this
He had
video.
to.
He tags me in this video. Just fucking somebody had to have saved that video. This dude FPV power looped like just did this whole roller coaster. He followed the track to a T. It's fucking epic. I don't know if he showed up at a closed down amusement park, but the video's gone. So I'm not sure if he got in trouble.
But if you think about it, he couldn't have because the roller coasters were running. So they must have been testing or something. Where
Right,
he,
right.
Yeah, it had to be
I
like a
think they
test.
pulled that because they need further clarification. Anytime I do anything, I'm like in Mexico. Fucking title it. I'm in Mexico. I'm not in this country. Oh shit. Fuck you, Orang.
Yeah, it's
Fucking some
yeah,
real
block that
motherfucking
dude, man.
motherfuckers, dude.
What an idiot, man.
I don't know.
You-
Hey, guys, do me a favor. You see some douchebag shit like this orangutan? Fuck them. I don't play that shit on this channel. I don't I don't play that. You get blocked. That's an instant block here. Here's the deal. Terry's my fucking friend. Been my friend for over a year now. So you don't like it? Fuck off. This is my channel. My friends. You're going to respect them or you're going to get the fuck out of here. Okay.
man. It's
End of
it's
that.
pretty stupid, man.
Stupid. I even got to say that. Fuck you for even doing that.
It's stupid.
Orangutan. Fuck you. You'll never comment.
But you
here
know what?
again.
Let's not even give them the time of
No,
day, dude.
that's it. That's it. That just fires me
But
up. And
yeah. So since you started getting into like the FPV thing, of course I've been researching like FPV builds, FPV racing.
and they're easy to build. They're easy to build. I was
Don't
really,
start.
dude. I'm telling you, man. I was so like hesitant on building them because I'm like, I don't know where to start. I don't know where to start. And then I started like I follow this guy Joshua Bardwell. Dude's got like, you know, he talks a lot, but that's normal. And I freaking started watching his videos, and he sort of instilled confidence in me that you can build something and not blow it up. Although I did blow one of them up. That was my fault though. I blew a lot of them up. But now, you know, now months later or 2 months later, you know, we got 12 of them floating around, but they're so much fun. Like you start flying them, I can't explain the exhilaration. It's not like a camera drone.
What's the cost of entry?
Cost of entry, you need a set of goggles. You can get in as cheap as $150. You need an RC, that's $100, so you're at $250. And you can get away as cheap as right now. There's a kit that you can buy for $249. You have to build it. It's $249. So under $700, we'll say you can have a complete
under 700. What do you
$700.
think I'm made out of?
I know, but that's the cost of entry. Sometimes for hobbies, they're expensive.
Jesus.
But that it doesn't stop there. But once you're in and you have like the baseline equipment, you just sort of maintain it. It's like anything else. You sort of maintain it. You break something, you fix something. You break something, fix it. As long as you're not, you know, buying and building. You know, my thing was I didn't want to buy a bind and fly because you buy a bind and fly, you don't know how it was put together. So when you break it, you're like, how do I fix this? Right. So if I know how something goes together, I know how to fix something. So that was the reason why I built mine. Really super easy though. FPV is so crazy. There's a company, I don't know if you follow him. There's this guy on Twitter. His name's Dwight. He runs a company called Beagle Drones. Beagle Drones. It's an FPV drone company. And what they are doing differently than anybody else, look them up. I'm gonna drop a link for Dwight's company because it is so dope what they are doing. It's called Beagle Drones. And anyways, they've built ready to fly drones, FPV drones, mind you, that have firmware that can be downloaded. You literally have to do nothing to these drones. They're the best of the best when it comes to FPV. The footage is sick. There it is. BeagleDrones.com. I know it's an odd name, but holy crap is this stuff good.
Beagle Drones.
Yes, and it gets firmware pushed to it. Like it's unlike any other drone kit you can find on the market today. They have a drone kit too. They have the Neo 2 and the drone kit too. And you can choose your performance. So if you want stealth performance, I don't know. I just made that up.
What is performance?
I don't know. Terry, fuck you.
Say that one more time.
We're going to go here. Anyways, stealth performance, it's expensive. It's $748 for their drone. Yeah. It's expensive, but you can choose what type of performance you want out of this drone, but it's a full-fledged FPV drone. It's even got special batteries that are for this. I mean, it's wild. Somebody that wants to get into FPV, but they're unsure of how to go about it, this is the way to go for sure. $748.
I have a question for you.
What's that?
I have a question for you. So this is kind of totally off topic, but now that I know we kind of touched on this briefly before, right?
Yeah.
Do you think the Mavic Air 2 has a firmware issue causing it to crash? Because like I said, I'm part of two DJI groups for the Mavic Air 2 on Facebook.
I think there are a lot of people
crashing.
I think there's a problem with the batteries. I'm going to tell you why.
Really?
Because I'm going to explain why I think there is an issue with it. Because I wrecked two of them. All right, the first one was totally my fault. Although it shouldn't have let me take off in the fashion that I took off. I'll admit
you only
that.
had what, like seven sacks?
Six, but
six.
Who's counted? So it smashed into a building. That was my fault. I fucked up. That was my fault. The performance was good. The second time I was filming for a client, right? I'm filming for a client. I'm panning left. and I'm watching it. Like, there's a condo behind me. It's about 20 feet off. I'm over a dock, so I'm technically over water. The GPS is acting goofy as hell, right? It's like not really giving me the correct altitude. I'm like, man, I know I'm higher than 70 feet. I know I'm higher. I'm like, because I'm over the condo now at this point, scanning the skyline. Next thing I know, the drone goes into a spiral. Not like oh, I hit something, I'm falling. No, just starts spiraling. I'm like, what? I'm like, this isn't happening. And I'm watching through the camera like, please, please, please don't land in the water. Please don't land in the water. And it lands on this guy's boat dock. Grace of God, it lands on this guy's boat dock. And I'm thinking to myself, all right, great. I'm going to it. Because I was across the channel when this happened. And I'm running to it now. And I see the drone get up. I'm like, this is new. And I see this guy looking at it and he's twirling it around. I'm like, what the freak is going on? And I'm like, put it down. And he can't hear me. I'm like, put it down. And I'm seeing him fiddle and he's fondling my drone. He's fondling my drone.
How did that make you feel?
Not good. I felt violated.
You should.
And he's fondling the drone. And the next thing I do, he holds it in his hand and I can see he's walking towards the condo that I just left. But then he picks it back up and then it goes dark. So what he did was he pulled the battery. And when he went inside, he told the manager of the office that he goes, dude, this drone was spying on me, blah, blah, blah. He took my fucking SD card. So I had photos of the condo and everything. He takes my SD card. Now, I don't know this yet at this point. So I'm banging on the door to get back in there because you need a key card to get in there. And when I asked the guy, I said, hey, did somebody just bring a drone in here? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, where is it? He's like, oh, it's in that garbage over there. So I go to the garbage and there's like, it's under like some Wendy's shit, like somebody's chili and fucking ketchup. I'm like, fuck. And I picked it up and it was obliterated. And I grab it and I plug the battery in because the battery was out and I plug it in and I'm like, oh wow, power's on. So I'm walking out. I'm like, thank you. And I'm walking back out and I noticed the flap for the SD card was off and I'm like, shit. I look, where's the SD card? Maybe it ejected. I'm like, hey, did the guy say anything about a card? And he goes, oh, he just said that somebody was spying on him. And I'm like, no, that's not what we were doing. You saw me here with the agent before. So I left him a business card. And somebody's like, well, you should have filed a police report. And my thought was, well, I just crashed a drone on somebody's property. Do I want to
file? Wouldn't go too well.
Right. How would that be taken? Because somebody was just arrested for flying a drone. I'm like, do I file a police report? Do I not? So all I asked the guy, I wrote my number down. I said, listen, I will pay him for that card because I had client files on there still. So I ended up having to go back to that same property with another drone to reshoot it for the agent, which cost me time. Wow. It sucked. But I guess the long and the short of it is, I think there's a problem with the batteries, to be honest with you. And I think we'll see as more people start using it, and in summertime specifically, I think that people will notice that there may be degradation in performance over a time of however many cycles. I don't think it's firmware. I think it's battery at this point.
See, I've been trying to rule out, is it because to me, like, I see so many like reports of people crashing their Mavic Air 2s, and I'm like, what are y'all doing, man? Because it's not a difficult drone to fly at all.
But that's, at first I thought it was me. I'm like, I'm a dumbass, but I don't think it is, man. I think there is a problem with the batteries on these units, and I don't think DJI is openly admitting it. I mean, it's got to be.
I think so. Well, I think some of it is user error.
Some of it is user error.
Like a lot of these idiots, you got to be, again, you have to understand the limitation of it. It doesn't have sensors on the top or the sides, but they have these modes the smart modes where you push a button and it flies to the damn side. So people who aren't suspect that there may be a tree in the way or a power line in the way or something like that, because people are new to drones and they get it and the first thing they want to do is go fly it, and they're not thinking about like, yo, I need to practice my drone principles first, check the area.
But people don't think like that. Like they get these drones, and the problem is, they watch all these videos, they see us doing this shit online, and they're like, I could do that too. Because trust me, that's how I was. The first person I ever watched flying a drone was Casey Neistat. That was the first person, and I think everybody, when they picked up a drone back 3-4 years ago, they were like, I want to make vlogs like that. I want to have content like that. And then I think the more you fly it, you evolve. Like you evolve, you're like, I want to be different. And then you learn about the rules and you're like, fuck, I don't want to fly over traffic. I don't want to do this. And then you start evolving the way you do things. But, you know, with the Mavic Air 2, I mean, it's a simplistic drone. It's a simplistic application. I mean, I can't imagine there's a lot of user error unless if somebody's slamming into things from the side. But what I'm seeing a lot of in a reoccurring event is batteries or Mavic 2 Airs that are burnt to a crisp. I've seen probably 3 or 4 of these now that are burnt to a crisp. That's a little alarming. Alarming. And I don't know the temperatures in which they are flying. I could just say down here in Florida, it's hot as balls. If you're flying with your drone for an extenuated period of time, you may overheat it.
See, I wouldn't fly today because it was 95 in Cleveland.
Oh shit, and that's hot.
Yeah, it was just like me reading all these like issues hearing about batteries. I'm like, even though I want to go fly, like you got to think if it's 95 outside, how hot is it going to be inside that drone? You know what I'm saying? That battery's probably 120, 130 degrees easy. And I just didn't do it, man. I didn't do it. But I'm very curious, man, because I haven't had, like, I'm trying to think. I had one issue where the drone wouldn't, like, I couldn't calibrate the IMU, but I don't know if it was just the drone tripping or
I have a lot of compass errors. I noticed my compass is always forever an issue. The other thing too, it's very slow to retrieve satellites. Like my Evo slow. And my Mavic 2 Pro is like that to get satellites and be able to take off. The Mavic Air 2, I sort of find myself sitting there for sometimes 3 to 4 minutes waiting for it to achieve satellites for me to get the green light to fly. That was my mistake on the rooftop, was I should have rebooted it or changed locations. For whatever reason, I wasn't able to achieve satellites. I think that entire mission that I was on, that flight, would have ended up in the same result no matter what. I was determined to get it up in the air for the night shots, and that, you know, wrecking it like that was just a terrible situation.
See, the one issue I had with the compass, it actually wasn't the drone. It was my phone.
Okay. That can make sense.
I sat there, like, dude, I was like, I almost threw the Mavic 2. I mean, the Mavic Air. I'm not even playing. Like, I was so fucking pissed off because the damn thing would not calibrate the compass. And finally, I'm like, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm out of here. I took my phone off and reset my phone. And when I plugged the phone back up after I did, I'm like, let me give it one more shot. The compass was fine.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm finding. There's some inconsistencies with that. And John just commented, there's been issues with DJI and Autel for the last few years with batteries. And yeah, I think this is one area where drones are absolutely fucked, is when it comes to batteries. Why
don't they put the same type of batteries that they do in RC cars?
Dude, I wish I knew. I mean,
maybe it's because they need to be like compact to fit inside or whatever, but I think it's, what are they, lithium-ion batteries or some shit like that?
Lithium-ion batteries, I believe. They're lithium-ion batteries.
I don't get why these batteries are so complex, dude. I mean, I get it, maybe because they draw such high voltages. I'm looking forward to my batteries swelling up and having to replace them because I bought the Fly More combo.
Yeah, I think a lot of people bought the Fly More combo, and they're having issues with certain batteries. Like, all right, so here's something that I've noticed with the batteries. Some people's batteries are white. Some people's batteries don't have any painting on there. And some people have said that there is differences in the production. I don't know if that's the case or not, but that's something that I noticed was happening, was the batteries look different. Like my battery had a white color on it. And yeah, I don't know. It was weird.
Something weird just happened with your stream. I don't know what it was.
What was it?
It just like you went offline and it was just me and then you came back somehow.
Sort of like that.
It was weird.
That happens from time to time.
Well, anyways, we back in full effect. snobs are. Eventually, it becomes a point where it's not enough anymore. And now that you know a drone I really want is that the fucking Skydio, man.
Skydio is a badass drone, man.
Dude,
It can
Jake,
follow me.
I've been watching a lot of Jake Sloan's videos on the Skydio. I think Jake is in the chat somewhere. Um, and my dude Tech Gear Talks to Gee has been doing a lot of videos on the Skydio too. And I'm wondering like if I made the right decision or not, man. That thing is beast, dude. That thing is beast.
Yeah,
But I like
it's pretty dope. I mean, sometimes it's a little bit cumbersome to be able to do certain tasks with it. But I mean, it's fun. It's just not as like simplistic as other drones. But we'll have to see. I'll have to give it a little more of a. I got to use it more. I haven't used it enough. That's the problem. Is I've got no time and content to create, but no time.
You know what's a problem also? There's 156 people watching. There's 94 likes.
Yeah, what's
that
up with that
bullshit.
shit? What the shit?
That's bullshit. That's ridiculous, man.
What is going on with that, people? What is going on with that, people?
But like for you to get a Skydio, you got to get the drone, then you got to buy the freaking beacon, then you got to buy the controller, then you got to buy extra batteries.
Yep.
Like it's for you to get into it, it's like $1,500 for you to get it out.
It's no joke, man.
And then it's Wi-Fi only on range.
It'll break the bank. That's for damn sure. Some reason, you know what's funny as shit is when you watch a stream back with closed captioning, it is so good, dude. Closed captioning is so good. I am so drunk. Closed captioning is so good. I love it.
Skydio equals YouTube selfie drone. That's a fact.
Something. But Terry, man, I appreciate you coming on tonight. I have got to piss.
So listen. Before you go, somebody commented that I would have to piss before you, and you lost.
Shit,
you lost.
Man, did really?
Somebody commented that.
No way.
Terry won.
Fuck. Terry beat me. Terry beat. I drank 3, and so I saw somebody say I was like a Dobo. Dobo was just drinking 3, and there's no way. But I'm gonna have to take a breather here, man, and take a piss before I smash these beer cans on my head tonight.
Yeah, man.
But
well, let me personally thank you for having me on the stream,
dude,
man.
I appreciate you coming on, man. Like I said, such short notice, but you were an outstanding guest, and I think hopefully people check out your content and feel as inspired to create as I do.
Thanks, man. I appreciate
Terry,
that. And thanks for everybody who stayed.
Terry, man,
all that good stuff.
You're welcome back anytime. You've got a Dobo warm welcome. So they say Terry wins. True statement. Terry wins.
Cheers.
So cheers, man. Look forward to having you back again, brother.
All right, man. Likewise. Thanks you very much.
See you, brother.
See y'all soon.
Alrighty. So that was cool. Brief intermission as I am going to piss my brains out. Whew. Oh, God. Sometimes that just feels great. Alrighty, where was I? Feeling glazed right now. Alrighty, so we've come to that moment in the stream. 10 It's $10.34 p.m. And it's time we sing our song. Well, the end is near. My beer is almost empty. We had some laughs, my friends. That's for certain. My IPAs was 12 fluid ounces. But like all good things, they've got to come to curtains. But don't you fret, my dearest friend. We'll be back again with another drone brews. That doesn't even fucking rhyme. Next week. We've disregarded all our mentions, but in the end, we had the right intentions. I'm not a singer. I drink beer. I was also known as a ringer. I just spilt a little bit on the floor. That's going to stain. Damn it, that was a stinger. We had a guest originally planned. He had another date, but that's okay. He wouldn't have made it by 8. I don't know. But Terry came through. It was a great show. Super creative. Ultimately, it'll help you innovate. I'm not much of a rapper. I just sat down on a crapper. I took a piss. Don't worry, the 3 dislikes, you will be remiss. Somewhat philosophical. Often misinformed. I have a pronunciation issue with my G's. But that's why you guys keep coming back with applause. Slow claps are wonderful. Slow claps are wonderful. I think at this point, the stream's come to a close. If I had to do a breathalyzer and touch my nose, it wouldn't be a straight line. No. It would not. And for that, I ask you forget me not. Be sure to hit my friend Terry's channel up. He'll appreciate that. And if you click the selfie link in the description, you can get Terry's wonderful LUTs. Be sure to use them so you don't fuck up. All right. There it is. This is the stream. Eli Manning says it's a stream. Somebody on band, thank you. It's cheeks. Cheeks or tits. Cheeks or tits. That's all we get here on the Dobo channel. I appreciate you guys for sticking around. I want to give my warmest, deepest thank you to my buddy Terry, because I had probably one of the best conversations with my dude. And hopefully you guys can appreciate that. We're going to bring more creators that you may not be familiar with on this channel, because I truly feel like there's so many people I watch that I'm like, man, who else is watching these guys? Why don't they get more people watching them? Because they're really good. They're really good. There's a lot of people like that. All right. We're going to make a phone call tonight. Let's make a phone call. We're going to do the phone call tonight. All right. Who we got? Let's see who we got. We'll throw out the Dobo hotline. Dobo hotline in 3, 4, 5. Dobo hotline tonight. The call-in number tonight. The call-in number is 813-279-1689. Once again, the Dobo hotline number is 813-279-1689. The lines are now open. 813-279-1689. Who's going to be the first up to bat on the Dobo hotline? The lines are now open. And I saw somebody say piss off. We got one. Here we go. All right, we're going to press 1. Alrighty, you're on the air with Original Dobo.
Hey, Ken, thanks for getting that V-copter to me. I really appreciate it.
Fuck you, Bob.
Hey, I got to run off to a meeting. After watching your show, I don't drink, but I got to go to a meeting.
Oh, Bob, go to a meeting, Bob, you son of a bitch.
All right, hey, have a good night.
You too, buddy.
Good show.
Bye.
All right.
Is it bad? I instantly recognize voice. See, I have photographic, visual. Let's just put it this way. I know. You call me. I've talked to you. I remember. I got 20/20 visual hearing. 20/20 visual hearing. Alrighty. That's it. We're drunk. We're done. That's the stream. Details for Terry's channel going to be a link in the description below. Be sure to check it out. Great content. Also, I will be at Spin Down 2020. If you haven't already secured your tickets, be sure you check it out on the Eventbrite link. I'll have a link in that description as well if you want to go to Spin Down 2020. If you haven't already got your virtual tickets to Spin Up, a lot of spinning here. The room is spinning. I'll have links for that as well. Virtual tickets for Spin Up are on sale currently. That is happening in September. Whew. A lot of stuff to plug. Shit. Great show. Good job, guys. Good job. Round of applause to all of you for putting up with my shit. That was tits. All right. I think we should maybe put shirts together that say tits. Tits and drones, right? Tits and drones. All right. We're going. I'm going to go. I think I'm going to go bang my wife. Some lessons I'ma learn. Usher said to let it burn, but my life isn't his concern. I don't toss and I don't turn. There's some lessons I'ma learn. Usher said to let it burn, but my life isn't his concern. I am not the one, and I am not your Neo. I am not a hero, and I am not a hero, and I am not your one. Yeah, and I'm not your Neo, and I am not a hero. Yeah, and I'm not a hero. Yeah. Too many nights, yeah, not feeling right, yeah. Too many nights, yeah, not feeling right, yeah. I can't be still inside. I can't be still inside. Too many nights, yeah, not feeling right, yeah. Too many nights, yeah, not feeling right, yeah. I can't be still inside. I can't be still inside,
For the people who been holding me down. 2 times for the people who been holding me down. That's 3 times for the people don't be knowing me now. I just move out of sound, and I just move without sound. And 1 time for the people who been holding me down. And 2 times for the people who been holding me down. And 3 times for the people I don't see them around. I just been moving around. Yeah. I'll react if I had to. Put some things in the past too, and don't let them distract you, but react if you have to. Yeah. I'll react if I had to. Put some things in the past too, and don't let them distract you, but react if you have to. Yeah. React if you have to, yeah. Don't know the time, yeah. Just know that I'm, yeah, one of a kind, yeah. What's on your mind, yeah. Well, hard to find, yeah. Beautiful mind, yeah. Still in my prime, yeah. Just know that I'm here. Yeah. Too many nights, yeah. Not feeling right, yeah. Too many nights, yeah. Not feeling right, yeah. I can't be still inside. I can't be still inside. Too many nights, yeah. Not feeling right, yeah. Too many nights, yeah. Not feeling right, yeah. I can't be still inside. I can't be still inside. It's not insomnia, I'm not a zombie, a thriller. I'm moving carnivore, illa, not playing party Attila. I ain't been partying either, but at the Garden of Eden, just drinking water and eating is probably not what you're thinking. And 3 little beers came out to play. 1 got drank and 1 thrown away, but that 1 got left to say good night. Be sure you're
plug your phone in and things will be all right.